Good, happy Sunday evening, January 31st, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday evening, so let's begin. First up, we begin with a check of your weather forecast from meteorologist Tim Kelly. As nor'easter nears, more snow expected. Blizzard-like conditions are possible. There are some things that are new since our latest update, so here is the very latest on the snowstorm approaching New England. Let's get this weather forecast from meteorologist Tim Kelly.
We have you covered here on NECN. Another look at the weather every 10 minutes. Tim is back. Tim, it's a busy stretch that you're tracking right now.
Oh boy, it is, yeah. And we're going to have a thaw next week and then some possibly record cold the following week. We'll talk about that in the big picture in a few minutes. Right now, let's go to the fun part. This afternoon, the sun is shining. This morning, it was 20 below in northern New England. This afternoon, it's close to 30 above in southern New England. Quite a temperature gradient, and temperature gradients are where storms track along a gradient. Light, with 2 exclamation points, wind from variable directions. Near calm inland from the northeast around Cape Cod, the coast of Connecticut, as we start to see the influence of the storm. You look at the west coast, another powerhouse just west of Seattle, and look at that huge cloud south of Los Angeles. That's going to be a big weather maker for late in the week. That's probably going to be more wet than white. Just a lot of precipitation coming up in the next couple of weeks. Storm after storm have been intensifying to our east and slowing down. That's the reason for the such cold air that's come in and settled in over New England, and some of the coldest air since 2018, I think, at least for a duration. 3 mornings in a row, single digits in Boston. Very cold high-pressure system to the north, relatively warm low-pressure system off the coast. Remember, the Gulf Stream is out there with water temperatures in the 60s. That's going to be pushing into the very cold air, and that's just going to wring out the moisture. Snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches an hour in southern New England by tomorrow afternoon. There's the clock. Now we're at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The snow is just getting into Maine. Snow and rain mixed in southern New England tomorrow night and first thing Tuesday. And then one low goes into the Gulf of Maine. That's going to cause the wind to come around back from the north, and there'll be a refreeze in some of the wet weather in southern New England on Tuesday in the afternoon as the temperature comes down. So places that get the most snow are not necessarily the hardest hit. The Berkshires, the northern Worcester Hills, the higher elevations toward the New Hampshire border, where it's all snow, might be a little easier to deal with than where it's, say, 5 or 6 inches of snow around Boston and Providence, and then with rain on top and the refreeze. The mountains of Vermont, New Hampshire doing quite well. In Maine, there's a serious mixing issue too. On Tuesday, the worst of the weather is north, but then the colder air comes back with rain changing back to snow Tuesday night. Just a light accumulation, but very icy to start. On Wednesday, it's still windy and a little colder. Thursday looks dry, and then a mixture of rain and snow changing to rain Friday into Saturday. More of the big picture and hour-by-hour wind forecast in a few minutes.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Tim Kelly. And here are some more information here for all of you as well. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your weather, and we will be sure to keep you updated as this storm enters New Hampshire. Now let's get to your news. First up, let's get to your COVID-19 updates. COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. Let's take a look at that information for all of you right now. And here's a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 65,695 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 26,174,956 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 1,057 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 200 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 441 200 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 464. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 5,763. And let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, new hospitalization. And red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases. And orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple. Total positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths. And blue, recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate. Positive PCR and antigen test rate and daily PCR test. And let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases and female and male of cases. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. With third round of Paycheck Protection Program underway, bank reaches out to underserved businesses in the region. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Want to extend your weekend adventure? Now you can, right from your own TV.
This is awesome.
Watch all your favorite Litton's Weekend Adventure shows on Explore. Available on Samsung TV Plus.
The unemployment rate that was predicted and what occurred here in New Hampshire were dramatically different.
With 6 New Hampshire locations, Bangor Savings Bank says they're trying to make sure underserved businesses and nonprofits get their share of the Paycheck Protection Program.
What we want to do is help reach out and help those folks access these funds and help their businesses make it through this point in the pandemic and hopefully flourish beyond that.
Rather than waiting for underrepresented businesses to approach them, Bangor Savings Bank says they're proactively reaching out first.
They may be such a small business that they may not have a tax professional. They may not even have a banker yet. And we want to make sure we're a resource for people no matter where they are in their business cycle.
YWCA New Hampshire is a nonprofit social justice and crisis center in Manchester. They received funds during the first round of the PPP.
What it allowed us to do is to not have to lay off any staff, to be able to cover those operational expenses.
In 2020, they canceled a large fundraiser celebrating 100 years in community service. They say the PPP money helped fill the gap.
What this allowed us to do is to focus on what was needed, which was addressing the immediate needs of the community we're serving versus wondering how we're going to keep the lights on.
We find a lot of the people who are calling in or the people that we're reaching out to don't think they qualify. We think because I'm a sole proprietor, there's no way that I could qualify. And we're finding that most of them do.
And with that, Bangor Savings Bank says if you don't know if you qualify, just go ahead and ask. Also, if your loan could be forgiven if you follow certain guidelines. Reporting live, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Comcast delays charging customers who exploits monthly data cap. Subscribers cannot be charged until August of 2021. Let's take a listen to this video.
Earn your degree faster at Purdue University Global. With over 175 online programs, there's one for you. Start today with a 3-week risk-free trial. Apply now at purdueglobal.edu.
Whether you're Zooming business calls from home or your kids are learning remotely, Soaking up internet data is easy to do these days. Starting January 1st, Comcast Xfinity began phasing New Hampshire subscribers into a data cap plan, charging any customer who goes over 1.2 terabytes per month an extra fee. But according to an IT specialist in Bedford, don't panic just yet.
Assuming Comcast is going to cap at 1.2 terabyte, for regular email, browsing, shopping online and stuff, it's more than enough.
According to Comcast, the median subscriber used 308 gigabytes per month in 2020, with only 5% of Xfinity users going over the new 1.2 terabyte cap. In a statement, Comcast says in summary that those super users generate the greatest demand for network development. Comcast offers an unlimited data plan for $11 more a month.
So on an average, a Zoom call, which is on HD quality, would be about consuming about 2.5 gigs per hour. That would give you about 400 hours of Zoom calls in the entire month.
Ash believes video gamers will be most impacted. As for anyone streaming movies,
an HD movie typically is about 2 gigs. It could be a little bit more, a little bit less, but on an average, let's say it's 2 gigs, which means about 500 movies you can download in a month. So that's a lot of movies, and that would probably not affect most people.
Comcast says it is providing a 3-month grace period. Anyone who goes over 1.2 terabytes won't see a charge until April. Mike Cherry, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Gunshots fired on streets of Manchester, New Hampshire. Officers recovered a shell casing in the road, but have not found any victims. A gunshot was fired shortly after midnight Saturday in Manchester, New Hampshire, as bars closed in the area, but no one appeared to be struck, authorities said. Around 1:30 a.m., police officers near Wilson and Hayward Streets heard a single shot nearby as several cars and pedestrians were heading home from a night out. Officers recovered a shell casing in the road, but have not found any victims. The incident is still under investigation. 2 Massachusetts residents hurt during separate New Hampshire snowmobile crashes. Let's take a listen to that video from WBZ, CBS News.
Two Massachusetts residents seriously hurt in snowmobile crashes yesterday in New Hampshire. Fish and game officials say yesterday morning, a North Andover woman was riding on trails in Randolph when she lost control of a snowmobile that she was renting and crashed into a tree. And then late last night, officials say a Reading man was riding a snowmobile across First Connecticut Lake in Pittsburgh. The driver told officials he was driving fast, lost control, and hit some rocks near the shoreline. The driver was flown to Dartmouth Hitchcock with serious injuries.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Hypothermic hikers assisted off Mount Crotchet. Conservation officers and rescue teams assisted a group of hypothermic hikers off Mount Crotchet Saturday night. Major winter storm to bring snow to Midwest and Northeast. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
We begin tonight with that major winter storm moving across the country, starting in the West Coast and slamming into the heartland as we come on tonight. And heading to the East Coast, D.C., Philly, New York, and Boston in the bullseye. At this hour, more than 100 million people under winter weather alerts. The powerful storm sweeping through Southern California and further north, take a look at this, washing out parts of Highway 1 near Big Sur, sending mudslides down the hills burned by fire in the San Gabriel Valley. Heavy snow in the mountains, semis under several feet of snow in Truckee, California near the Nevada border. And the snow, look at this, now reaching the suburbs just outside of Chicago and beginning to accumulate outside Wrigley Field downtown, this video courtesy of EarthCam. The Northeast already in a deep freeze, now making emergency preps for a major snowfall. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano leads us off.
Tonight, the Northeast in a deep freeze. Millions enduring bitter cold temperatures. Fountains frozen over in New York City amid single-digit wind chills. The region now bracing for a powerful winter storm and potentially blizzard conditions.
We understand that it's going to be significant. Please stay off the roads as much as you possibly can.
That system, now in the Midwest, has been hammering the West Coast for days. Some areas of California digging out from a staggering nearly 9 feet of snow. Tragically, one skier lost his life after becoming trapped in the deep snow. South of Reno, first responders rescuing a man after his vehicle got stuck. And on the coast of California, massive amounts of rain. Part of the iconic Highway 1 washing away south of Big Sur. Caltrans officials say they don't have an estimate yet for when that stretch of roadway will reopen. In the LA area, dozens of accidents on rain-slicked roads as the system moved through there. This big rig overturning, the cab going over the guardrail. Luckily, the driver not seriously hurt.
Incredible that driver's okay. Rob joins us now. Rob, time out this storm for us.
Well, it really did a number on the West Coast, Tom, and now it has the eastern half of the country in its crosshairs. Look at all the areas that are going to be impacted by winter weather. Over 20 states with warnings now in Philly, D.C., and Chicago. That's where you're seeing impacts right now. That's where the snow's piling up. In northern Illinois and Indiana, the roads are getting bad there. There are some heavy rains across the southern part of this, but the winter weather is going to be the highest impact. It gets into Indiana and Ohio tomorrow, and it weakens somewhat. The coastal lows take shape during the day tomorrow. D.C., Baltimore, you really get it tomorrow afternoon. Philly tomorrow night. New York then into Monday and Tuesday. Somewhat some rain mixing in all along the coastline. That'll keep some of the numbers down as far as accumulation go. But high winds and accumulations that could exceed 10 inches in some spots in Pennsylvania. Tom?
Okay, Rob, we know you and your team will be tracking the storm throughout the night. Thank you for that.
Hi. Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Thank you for joining us for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening, and I'll see you back here in a little bit for a news report. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night and goodbye, everyone.